I know things might still be shifting a bit, but I'm going to go ahead and start the energies of the Maya Cosmovision here in the main room. So if you're here for a few minutes, you can tune in or whatever you feel like. But I'm just going to start by introducing myself. My name is Rachel, and I was really gifted to learn this information of the Maya Cosmovision that comes from the sacred Maya calendar when I studied in Guatemala in 2015. So for me, it was a learning of information that resonated so deeply with me. I definitely felt like it was a return of knowledge coming. And that's what I think is so special and great about the energies of the Maya Cosmovision and the calendar is that it deeply resonates with all of us on some level. And it's because of how articulated the system is and the way it was created. So I'm going to start with some history. At any point, if people have questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. I'll try to keep a eye out for that. And if not, I just want you to kind of take in this information. If you're called to jotting anything down, feel free. But I'm also going to give you some resources at the end if you want to do any sort of follow-up. And you can always, follow up with me at the end. But history. So the Maya Cosmovision is from the Olmecs, which is resonated between 3000 to 2000 BC. And this is known as the people who initially, that we know of worked with cacao. The thing that's so beautiful about this Maya calendar is that they worked with so many different calendar systems to come up with one sacred calendar known as the energetic calendar. So this is from history of them being sky watchers. That's what the Maya were known as being sky watchers. They did not have the word hour in their vocabulary because time was based on behavior and energy. Time was not a deadline. Time was not a chore. Time was simply energy. And so day after day, soaking in the energies and night after night of watching the sky and the stars, the Maya created what we know as the Tzolk'in calendar. In Guatemala, it's known as the Cholqui. So you will find in general variances anytime you take it upon yourself to do any sort of research about the Maya Cosmovision or the Maya calendar. You're going to be like, wait, this is confusing. I thought it was this word. I thought it was that. That's because I like to say it's like this expression of same, but different. There are so many different regions that worked with this calendar system, but they have different dialect. They have a little bit of a different way to describe it that they connect with it. But at the end of the day, it's rooted in the same. So I studied in Guatemala. This is known, when I start talking about the dialect, that might be where you'll find the real difference. But basically, this cosmic calendar was connected to the Maya and their astrology. I'm just going to check the chat real quick just to make sure. Okay. This was connected to astrology. And so what they really believed in, this is a belief system that we came from the stars. And within that, the Milky Way is very much so a part of this. And like we know of 2012, December 12th, that was supposed to be the so-called end of the world. As we know, that didn't happen. But what it was an end of a great cycle. The Mayans are all about cycles. That's how they, go through life and flow and transform. And so this cycle specifically was an end of a 5,126-year cycle. And what that means is that is when Earth and the Milky Way are at the same point in the solar system. And when that happens, it resonates on a resetting point where it's like, okay, we're back to center. You know, there's going to be massive shifts coming. There's going to be energetic movement. And so it begins again. Cycles continue. To break it down even more, the cycle of the calendar system. This is a 260-day calendar system. It works with our 365-day calendar system. Within the 260-day calendar system, there are numbers 1 through 13, and there are 20 day signs known as a Nawal or plural Nawalis. 1 through 13. The numbers are inner energies. This is the expression of us as humans and how we move through our days energetically. 13 comes from the main 13 articulations or joints in the human body. That's the neck, shoulders, wrists. That's not your wrist, that's your elbow. Elbows, wrists, hips, knees, and ankles. So that's the 13. And so that's all about this inner movement. You can definitely look at 13 numbers as the feminine. 20 outside energies. This comes from the belief when the Maya put 10 toes into the earth's surface, holding both hands to the sky with 10 fingers reaching to the universe. This created 20 outside energies that had a powerful effect on the inner self. So within that, you can view the day signs as more masculine energy, active energy that's taking place and moving within you. A lot of the time, these two energies can be viewed as a marriage of this feminine energy to the masculine energy that comes to balance it. So 13 times 20 creates 260 unique energies. And that is what the calendar system is made up of. And this rotates with our 365-day calendar. So for instance, on your specific birthday, you were born into a unique energy based off the Maya calendar. It doesn't return on your birthday specifically. It comes every 260 days. And like I said, they really love their cycles. And so it is supposed to return to your birthday around 42 years old in our calendar system. This refers to you becoming an elder. This refers to you having gained much experience throughout your life, that at this point, you know, finding a deeper sense of groundedness and understanding for your life experiences. So that is kind of the background. I will say that, you know, in terms of numbers, they're known as tones, T-O-N-S. In terms of the day signs, like I said, Nawalis, that's N-A-H-A-U-L. Just as a side note. So to start, I will say the numbers are like a pyramid. 1 through 6 is the upslope. Number 7 is the top of the pyramid, and 8 through 13 is the downslope. This can also be looked at as a sound wave. So there's, you know, there always has to be this movement that gets to that high momentum and then starts to go back down again. When we talk about the numbers, there is no such thing as a weak number. Even though 1 is the lowest number, there is so much power and force behind 1 because it is the number that begins everything. So to begin with the numbers, we're going to start with 0 actually, because Mayans actually had this concept of what 0 was. 0 is ultimate potential, it's boundless energy, and it's having perspective. 0 is the blank slate, being inspired, having artistic abilities to create whatever you wish without fear. And it's really cool because in the Maya teachings, the 0 looks like an egg, like a seed. And it's whatever you want it to be for you to create. Now moving into 1, where the actual pyramid is and what makes up the calendar system. What I want you to do when I go through these energies, so I want you to listen to what it is. And if you really feel connected to any specific number, just make a little note of it. As I find it's interesting because we deeply know ourselves and the energies. So just make a note of it if you feel like it. But we'll start with 1. 1 is the number of unity. 1 is source, it's purpose. So 1 starts the journey, sitting at the bottom of the pyramid. 1 is the initiator of all things, the original energy of creation. 1 is the lowest number in the calendar system, but is filled with tremendous power. When this number occurs, it's like being overwhelmed with thoughts, with ideas. It's the spark of inspiration. It's wanting to do everything, but it's only in the head. It's that head space where you're just wanting to go after the world. This is where motivation lives, and you must be particular with what you pull down from that motivation to then create into your reality. Moving into 2. 2 is a balance between this thought process and reality. 2 is duality. It's the dual nature between everything that we create through making choices. It's moving things along, and it needs partnership. Partnership is so important with the number 2, whether it's partnership within yourself and creating this balance, or it's partnership with physical partners and understanding that opposites can be very complementary in one's life. So 2 is all about making decisions. It's about understanding what's right and what's wrong, what resonates with you, and making the correct decision by tuning into your own will. Moving into number 3. 3 is where we come, like I said, there are no weak numbers. 3 is a challenging number though. And that is because 3 connects to family foundation. And the Maya believed that family foundation, was solid and prominent, but there were so many layers and nuances that it easily falls into an imbalance. And so 3 can be looked at as, the scale, kind of like Libra energy. And 3 can get caught up in the middle. It can be very hard to make a decision. It can be heavily influenced by outside people, outside ideas, outside thoughts. And when you're overwhelmed with everyone forcing the outside experience on you, it becomes a people-pleasing thing, and you just want to make everyone else happy. 3 energy is really important to get squared by yourself and integrate. The more and more 3 energy can actually integrate your own experience, the more action can take place on the outside. It's about shutting out the outside for you to create externally. Moving into the number 4. 4 is the number of stability. This is where there's a lot of foundation. 4 is known as, sorry, I checked the notes. 4 is known as like this stable energy because in general, like when you create a chair, when you create a table, there's 4 sides of it. In our system, there's 4 elements, there's 4 seasons. 4 is rooted so deeply in foundation through existence. And so this energy is like the energy that's super organized, loves to analyze things, has lists, going through the list. You're definitely a list maker if you have 4. and just wants to make sure everything is in order before executing this energy. 4 energy really comes across as systematic and calm, keeping you grounded. Moving into the number 5. This number is the number of empowerment. 5. The Mayans were so connected with their own limbs that this hand meant so much to them. This was the physical reach to self-empower. And the other hand with 5, it was being connected to these outside sources and staying grounded within. So 5 is self-empowerment. And it takes a lot of hard work with number 5. You know, it's like this energy is very motivated, it's eager, it's usually the one that likes to show up first in life. You know, if there's an opportunity, get there at 1:30. 5s love to get there at 1:25 because you just don't know if there's going to be something there for you that you may have completely missed if you got there at 1:30. So this really represents just like, it connects to going through the 5 stages of life. It connects with just so much energy that 5s are typically very successful if they can stay grounded and focused. Moving into 6, you'll notice this is another challenging number. 3 and 3 equals 6. So 6 is the number of flow. This is even 3 is the number of like foundation of family. 6 is the external energy of family. In the Maya culture, they related to 6 prominent characteristics that made up a family dynamic. And if one of those was out of balance, the person who carries 6 energy as their number feels it the most. So when you talk about the 6, that breaks it down to health, understanding, work ethic, friendship, positive and negative actions, and personal belongings. So say you have 6 as a number and a person in your direct family is like not healthy, or they're having a really hard time with their part to show up in the family and working toward the same goal. As a 6, this energy is going to feel like you want to fix it. 6 is all about trying to fix it, fill in the gaps. What can I do? What can I do? And that is so amazing because 6s have big hearts, but that comes across a lot as, ooh, too much. This is my space. So 6s need to really come into balance with themselves and how to break that energetic bubble. Don't get too caught up on the results from them. Moving into number 7. 7 is the top of the pyramid. 7 is a great number because it has a perspective where it can be present, grounded with where it's at, looking back on that pyramid, right, of the experience it just had, and then being able to look forward and what's next. So 7 is really a number about reflection, neutral. It has a lot to do with ends and beginnings. And it's just filled with like a lot of opportunities. It has more of an understanding of like, okay, I get why that happened. The real key with 7 is not getting hung up on any past experiences or looking so much in the future. It's like see it all, have that vision, but be grounded, be present, be grateful where you're at. Moving into number 8. 8, I would say the Maya probably preferred 2 numbers. 8 is one of them. That is because it is the most harmonic number. It just represents this thread of life, and it carries so much ease and fulfillment. You know, as we know, 8 is the infinity symbol. And so there's just a lot of beauty with 8. And in the Maya calendar, when days reset themselves, it resets on an 8 day. So December 12th, 2012, December 21st, 2012, for instance, that day it reset on, the number was 8. And that's because it has most promise to be lifelong, lasting, successful. Anytime people like want to get married, want to start a new project, 8 is a great day to have it like be initiated on. Where, like we said, 3 is not. Don't ever do it on a 3 day. Number 9. Number 9 is the number of perseverance. Number 9 is the most feminine number in the calendar system. This number is all about great cycles. In the 260-day calendar system, there's 9 lunar cycles. 260 days is the cycle of gestation for humans. And so 9 is this energy of like boldness, resilience. When you are pregnant, you don't throw in the towel and say, this is so much, my body is breaking down, I can't handle it. You are pushing through to get past it. This is the essence of 9 energy, strong, willing, and not going to give up. It also carries the most positive side because it sees the light in the darkness. Moving into 10. 10 is the number of manifestation. 2 hands. This is working together. This is connecting, collaborating, and opening up yourself to have support from others and also to support others. A lot of time in life, we humans get so caught up with what we're doing that we forget to say yes when people ask if we need assistance. And this is really important because at a certain point along a project or whatever you're working very hard at, you need to recognize when you need a little extra help. So 10, you can really manifest and take that vision to the next level when you work with others. Number 11 is the number of resolution. Here is our last challenging number. There's 3 challenging numbers. 11. 11 is a wanderer. If it stays focused, it has so much potential to be very successful and to find resolve in past happenings. But a lot of the time, 11 energy loves to just play detective and connect those dots. It's a constant like investigator mode of that happened because of this, I'm here because of that, without ever finding actual closure. So it's really important for 11 energy to close it and move on. Number 12 is the number of comprehension. This is considered the last physical number in the calendar system. And this is about full understanding, comprehension. It's the totality of past, present, and future without being caught up in any of it. It's just understanding, getting it, boundless energy, and grateful. Grateful for the physical. Number 13 is the last energy of the numbers. 13 is the number of ascension. 13 is beyond the physical. 13 is past all thoughts, and it's just intuitive. It moves so freely. Like I said, the Mayans probably preferred 2 numbers, 8 and 13 now. 13 is just like this otherworldly, psychic, so powerful energy, but if it's not properly harnessed, it can spiral out of control. So 13 energy is super important to honor your gifts, connect with them instead of being fearful, feeling scared, and step into that fear to see what could come from it. I know this is like a lot, but this is a short amount of time, and I just want you guys to kind of, get a sense of it and just feel it. So I'm really briefly going to read through 1 through. Okay. So we're going to move into the Nawalis. Really quickly, today is a 9-day, which is super cool. And then when we get to the specific Nawal that today lies in, I'll talk about specifically what that energy entails. So in the calendar system of Nawalis, there's 20 of them, and they are broken down into the elements. So we are really familiar with northeast, southwest. The Maya are really familiar with east, north, west, south. Fire starts everything, fire ends. And so that is the cycle. So we start with fire. It's the igniter. The first energy is emotion, and it's the crocodile. This energy is like mama. This is mama coming in full force and creative and just inspiring, full of so much innovation. It's also very soft. Sometimes emotion can be emotional because it gets really caught up in so many things, right? Crocodiles live in water and land. This is considered a fire sign. So it's kind of being overwhelmed with creative energy, wanting to do it all. Emotion is also, even though it's fire, it's connected to water so deeply. So this is the energy of artists, dreamers, directors, producers. And the force of emotion is the dream. We go into air. The second energy is Ik, which is the hummingbird. Ik is considered like father sky. So we start with Mama Earth from Emosh, we move to father. So Ik is the hummingbird, known as the spirit, the force of the spirit. This carries a lot of momentum, but grace, moving quickly, but also taking it in. So this energy is very adaptable and helpful. It's the ever-changing flow of life and honoring that. This energy is known to be energy of divine healers, prolific communicators, love to communicate, very good at it, and public speakers. Moving into the next one is Akabal. So we had mama, we had father, here's baby. Akabal is the bat. This is water sign. This is the force of the birth, creation. This energy is serene and heartfelt. There's a lot of shadow though with Akabal. Bats live in darkness for the most of their days, but then they come out into the most beautiful time of our days. That 15-minute slot when the sun rises, or that same 15 minutes when the sun goes down, and there's just that breathtaking beauty. That's what this energy is about. It's about really enjoying these radiant moments and immersing yourself in the light, pulling yourself out of that darkness that can be so comfortable, but knowing there's better stuff on the other side. This energy is known to be connected to counselors, leaders, and problem solvers. We're moving into Earth, Khat. This is the spider, the force of connection. The spider is studious, sensual, and cooperative. Spiders love to network. They are huge, huge networkers. They're also great artists and weavers. When you think about the energy of spider, it's like grabbing a bundle of things and you carry this bundle through your life. You know, you have a grocery bag and you're just like, oh, I like this. And you put it in your bag and all of a sudden one day you realize your bag is overflowing and some of it's not serving you. This can also connect with the fact that spiders themselves go to one corner in your house and make a beautiful web. They're very articulate, concentrated. They make the most beautiful webs. And then how long do they stay in it? Not long. They move. They go to the next corner. They make a brand new web. So beautiful, so articulate, so well done. But there's not any time that the spider revisits any of the webs it's created and addresses it. It never takes it down. It never finds closure. So the spider energy is actually the one energy that carries things deeply within for too long sometimes. It's really good to break energy if you have spider in your chart. So this energy is spiders connected to networkers, artists, and weavers. We're moving back to fire. We come to Khan, which is the snake or serpent. This is the force of the awakening. This is the enlightened journey and a lesson in itself. 10 steps forward, 12 steps back, 5 steps forward, 6 steps back. This back and forth motion of feeling progress and then feeling like something happened where it needs to take another look at what's going on. It's a very intellectual energy, has a great memory, creative energy. The best thing about snake energy is when it's coiled to the ground, it must stay grounded in order for it to slither up and be focusing on movement. If snakes are in that transformative motion, they're grounded and growing. This energy connects to professional athletes. They're very active people, entertainers, and spiritual teachers. We're going to move back to earth, back to air. Kame. This is the force of transformation. This is the owl. Real side note, there's 2 owls, so this is the first owl. This is the energy of life and death. It is full transformation. This is the energy that connects to ancestors. If there was like one day in the calendar system that's like said Halloween, it would be the number 13 and the energy of Kame. Those two together, powerful, powerful, potent ancestral energies. So this is very trusting energy. This is positive and full of wisdom. If you aren't just like number 13, if Kame isn't fully accepting of its abilities and understands how to harness its energy, it can be shifted into darkness and mood swings. This energy is connected to coaches, consultants, and travel guides. Loves to travel. This energy will go anywhere. Next energy is water energy. Kech, the deer. This is the force of potential. This is the helping hand. This is the energy that speaks up for community members. This is the heart of community, wanting to be supportive of everyone because of its own agility and awareness. It sees what's going on out there, and it is the protector. It's the greater good of everything. This energy is connected to activists, advocates, and nurses. Moving back down to earth, Keneal. Keneal is the rabbit. Keneal is the force of abundance. This energy is so cool. I love this energy because it really connects to the general belief of what the Maya are rooted in, which is we came from the stars. And physically on earth, Maya believed that seeds that we plant are what stars are in the universe. This is what this energy is of Keneal and the rabbit, abundance. And this energy is really lucky. This energy can hold a handful of seeds and just close its eyes, throw it out into the field, and without much nourishment, things grow, things pop up. This energy harnesses a lot of power. In the Maya culture, they would actually try to, any kings or queens have Keneal energy because it was just so powerful. This energy is connected to business CEOs, farmers, and spiritual guides. We're going back to fire. Toch. This is the puma, known as the force of the offering. This is a giver. This is when you think about pumas, they're usually depicted perched up on a rock with their heads slanted this way, with their ear shown. This is all about being a receiver. You know, this is showing up for others without speaking any words. This is being present with others, which sometimes is a bigger gift than anything else. People just want and need to be heard. But this is also an energy that has to work on its own energetic boundaries and disconnecting that, you know, being so of service, so present for other people's needs, that when it needs its own needs fulfilled and it's lacking, it can be so hurtful, like on a deep, sad level. So energetic boundaries are so important with the puma. This is the energy of the therapist and great sound engineers. We're moving to air, C. This is the energy of the dog. It's the force of the truth. The dog is a very simple, straightforward spiritual energy. The dog is very independent. When you throw your a stick to your dog, and it's just like coming back and forth, coming back and forth, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm gonna go inside. Your dog's like, I'm not coming inside. This energy knows what it wants. It's kind of my way or the highway, which comes across as selfish. But to the dog and its own inner perspective, you just know what you want and you're clear with what you want. You make decisions because you say, I don't feel like going out and I'm not going to sacrifice my own feelings to go out to have, to be a part of what they want me to have fun of if I just really want to stay inside and stay in tonight. Very instinctual. It can also be the one that struggles with illness the most because it knows what it wants, but it's also disconnected. For instance, dogs eat grass when they're sick. They know that, it helps them move things along. But if a piece of chocolate falls in front of a dog's face without thinking at all, the dog will eat it, getting sick. So this one definitely struggles with physical illness. Energetically, this is connected to judges, entertainers, and divine guides. Moving back to water, we have Bots, the creation. When I said the calendar reset itself on 8, it was accompanied by Bots. This is the monkey. This is the weaver of all things, all time. This is very successful because it is a business-oriented energy, but also knows how to have fun and knows how to incorporate fun into life. It's very dynamic, very lively, so extremely passionate about creating. Whatever the creativity is, Bots is rooted in creativity and will carry this creativity everywhere. This is connected to entrepreneurs, artists, and event planners. Moving to Earth, this is the lynx. The force of the path. This is about having life experience, saying yes to opportunities, trying it out, not getting caught up with staying on that path, doing what feels good in the moment. Learning is what will take you to your end path, but you must have multiple experiences in order to get there. The energy of the lynx knows that you can, first of all, this energy is like standing at a crossroads with 10 signs. That's like, come down me, come down me. You want to do it all. You just have to start somewhere. Say yes. Don't overthink it. Go with it. Say you're 2 weeks in. You're like, oh, I think I made a mistake. No big deal. This energy at any point can change its mind. And then there's probably even brand new opportunities that are presented to them. Very lucky. Just say yes to everything. Energy of freelancers, teachers, and ceremonialists. Moving to Ak, back to fire. This is the energy of the armadillo, the force of the home. This energy is so familiar. It's looking in a stranger's face for the first time and feeling grounded, feeling comforted, feeling home, because that exists with strangers because we are so connected on a different level. It's a warm and nurturing energy. It's having very thoughtful, caring energy within your home as well. This is when you translate it to objects, this is your altar in your home, your safe space. The big thing about armadillo energy is it's so protective that sometimes it lacks in going out and trying to explore the world. It's good to step out, develop your skills, even if it's taking a class down the street. You don't need to move across the country. Do something that broadens your horizons. Energy of the interior designers, curators, and teachers. Moving back to air sign, this is Ish, which is the jaguar. The energy carries the force of passion. This energy is deep. This energy is so feminine. It's captivating, soft, and mysterious. Back in the day when the Maya lived with jaguars roaming, it caught their eyes, but they would never go and approach. They would never go pet the jaguar. It was just such an alluring species. And if you ever look into, Maya imagery, more than any other animal, jaguar is depicted. It was such a sought out animal because it carried such grace and elegance and mystery. This energy is one that has magic within itself. It is very magical because it doesn't reveal everything. It holds it within and it holds it strong. This energy is connected to philosophers, media artists, and scientists. We're moving back into water. Seeking. This is the eagle. Seeking is the force of vision. This is such a goal-oriented energy. It's like seeing that big picture and just going directly towards it, you know, flying, knowing what it wants, going toward it. Eagles can be very distracted because they like to have fun though. It's like in traditional Maya fire ceremonies, there's always one person that comes dressed as an eagle with like grand feathers and just comes and dances. And it's this sense of like breaking this tension of seriousness that's carried through fire ceremonies. And it's like lightening up the room, have fun, you know, stay focused, but have fun. It's a very successful energy because it's so goal oriented. And it's best to do things behind the scenes. There's no reason to tell anyone your grand ideas 2 weeks in. Keep it within until you've gotten a certain place where you feel super secure and confident, then share it. Because if you share too early, people will discourage you through their words, and then you'll be discouraged and not carry it out. This is the energy of advertisers, photographers, and vision holders. Moving to earth, Akmak. This is the bee, the energy of introspection. Just like we had 3 challenging numbers, this is the challenging Nawal because it has everything to do with forgiveness, specifically forgiveness of oneself. Bees love information. Bees love connecting. They love sharing. They love so much communication that sometimes, somewhere along the line, communication can be completely misinterpreted in the sense where then it feels protective over its communication and doesn't feel like spreading the whole truth. And it starts to have little white lies. White lies can build and create a huge block. And so this energy is seriously like forgive yourself, forgive others, be truthful, find that truth and speak your truth. Connected to food critics, writers, and crafters. Fire. These are the last 4. Fire is Noh, coyote, the force of knowledge. This energy is the most insightful, intelligent energy of the 20. It carries such like beyond ideas thinking that it's outside the box. So your typical, like if you're sharing your ideas to people and you're a coyote and they're like, whoa, I have no idea what that is. Like that sounds like something crazy. This is where coyote energy really needs to find like-minded people, find people that share in your similarities of thinking and be supported by them. Because if not, coyote can really shut off from the world. This is connected to scientists, caregivers, and abstract artists. We're moving to Tihash, which is air, the other owl, which is the energy of today. Like I said, today's 9. Today is also Tihash. The force of the healing. This is a powerful force, divine connection. This is all about wisdom. In the Maya culture, doctors usually carried the energy of Tihash. They used the obsidian blade to perform surgical procedures. Obsidian is so connected to healing. They're removing bad organs from the physical body. And this is what Tihash represents. If you are an owl Tihash in this life, you have the ability to simply meditate and energetically see what you need to disconnect from. This is removing what's bad, staying focused on your process. Healing is the utmost important thing in the owl's life. This is connected to healers, surgeons, and herbalists. This is more so the masculine healer. The next energy is water, known as Kawak, which is the force of the storm. This is the female healer in the 20 Nawalas. This is the midwife. This is the one that says things are crazy, stormy, bumpy, but we must push through. We must get past. There's a lot of chaos within this energy. It can be emotional, overwhelming, but it's very strong, well-rounded. This energy can blame others and not look within. This energy is also the one energy that's connected to any sort of alcohol trouble, whether within yourself or close people in your life. And there's great lessons to be learned. So like I said, energy of the midwives, doctors, and marine biologists. The last energy is Ajpu. This is an earth sign. The force of the warrior. This is the human. We have evolved. The 19 first ones are all animals, and we come into this human evolution. Daring, intense, heroic. It's feeling that victory, the arrival of all of the hard work that you've put in and coming to this great end conclusion. It's fearless. The thing that can take it down is it sometimes is too fearless and just wants to go like balls to the wall, and the world is not quite ready for it. This energy is so powerful, so strong within itself. It needs not forget who you are at the soul level. It's like going through this evolution process, becoming the human, and then all of a sudden forgetting that whole journey. Energy of the performers, history teachers, and firefighters. I know that was like the biggest mouthful ever, but the Mayan calendar is so in depth. It's so wonderful. And I hope that what you took from listening to me, you were able to make some marks, specific numbers, specific Nawalas that connected to you, that resonated with you. And I will, like before this whole cacao conference ends, we'll jot down some references. And then as always, like let me know. But just so everyone sees the energy of today, 9 Tihash. And I think this is so beautiful because 9 is the most feminine number of perseverance, healing, overcoming. And Tihash is the healer and removing the negative. And it's the marriage of this feminine and masculine energy to take on healing together. Thank you all for listening to me.